Welcome to my new video, everyone. In this video, I'll be coming up with the scariest theories about Minecraft, the game I've been playing for years, and maybe many of you have been playing for a long time as well. When you hear these theories, you'll realize that Minecraft is not at all the game it appears to be. So, I'm not going to talk about the classic Entity 303 or Herobrine legends. In these theories, there is a possibility that behind the seemingly simple game, there are events so terrifying that they would horrify people. Maybe when you hear most of them, the possibility of them being real will blow your mind. By the way, before we start the video, this channel is still new, and if you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel. If you're ready, let's enter the portal and move on to the dark world of Minecraft. When the first version of Minecraft was released, a lot of people considered this game a kid's game just because of its graphics and appearance. Actually, Minecraft might be a cute game because of its structure, but that never makes it a kid's game. Because this game is not such a simple game. Minecraft has such a systematic and open to development structure that there are almost no limits to what you can do in this game. I said almost. Yes, almost. Because you can never get out of this game, and that's the biggest limit you'll encounter. This brings us to our first theory, the prison theory. Minecraft could actually be the prison of a player who was punished in another life. Upon entering this game, escape becomes impossible. In Minecraft, the world appears boundless. But if you ask me, this is nothing but a complete deception. Because the moment you enter the game, it seems like an unlimited world is waiting for you. But after a certain distance, you can't go beyond the sky or dig down past the bedrocks. You might be thinking, this game must have a boundary somewhere. It can't be unlimited. I mean, what I'm saying sounds illogical, but this game also has no end, so you can never escape from the game. When you play a normal game, the game asks you to do certain things, and in the end, you fight the biggest boss. If you win, the game ends. Or in another game, the game presents you with a story. When that story ends, the game ends too. So, a happy ending. But how is it in Minecraft? When you kill the Ender Dragon, normally the game should end on the credits screen, right? So, the final boss of this game is the Ender Dragon. And even when you kill it, you can never actually leave the game. And you respawn in the world again. Of course, there's also that weird end poem text. I mean the end poem that greets you. This end poem is very long. I wish I could read all of it, but there are some very strange quotes in this text that will strengthen this theory. The game was over, and the player had awakened from a long dream. And the player started a new dream. The player dreamed again, a better dream. And the player was the universe. The player was love. So actually, it clearly says here that we are in a dream, and inside a cycle. So this becomes an endless cycle because we keep waking up and falling asleep again. We keep coming back to the same world. We can never get out of this world because of the Bedrekla, so it's like we're trapped here. Don't you think this theory makes sense too? And also in this poem, it's constantly emphasized that I keep seeing you. Who is watching and seeing us? The universe, a creator? Or are we talking to our jailer who trapped us in this world? A jailer who punishes us because of a crime we committed in our previous life. Frankly, I would like to hear your thoughts on this topic as well, so don't forget to write them in the comments. My other theory is a bit more far-fetched. Endermen might be ancient humans who once lived in this world. There are a lot of theories about Endermen. However, the theory I'm talking about is a bit more disturbing. Because when you play Minecraft, you're the only human in this endless world. Now, I can almost hear you saying, but there are villagers, bro. I'll get to that in a moment. When you look into the eyes of Endermen, they suddenly become aggressive and they start attacking you. This might show that these beings, who were perhaps once human, still have some kind of emotional reaction to eye contact. Of course, it might seem silly to connect humans with a creature that just gets angry when you look into its eyes. But hold on, we're not done yet. In the world of Minecraft, the only creatures that can carry blocks are the Endermen. So these Endermen might have once lived in this world as an ancient human race. Because in the Minecraft universe, the only ones who can walk around with a block in their hands are us and the Endermen. So, the Endermen carrying blocks might be an involuntary remnant of old human instincts, in other words, a leftover urge to build. I know it sounds a bit confusing, but the next piece of evidence might bring us a step closer to this theory. The sounds of Endermen are very similar to distorted human voices, and these vocalizations are no different from a human's vocalizations. To help you understand the topic more clearly, I want you to listen to these sounds. Aren't these sounds just like a normal person calling out to someone else? In this case, it really strengthens the theory that Endermen were actually ancient humans who once lived in this world. In fact, it could even be like this. Before they became Endermen, when they were still human, they discovered the End World. When they entered the End World, they were imprisoned there by the dragon and were cursed, turning into Endermen. In fact, I think the biggest proof that they settled there is the end cities and chorus fruits found in the end. So this also shows that these people once lived in the end and established a civilization there. So they left the Nether and our current Minecraft world, the overworld, and settled in the end. But there they turned into Endermen. Maybe when they see us, they're actually asking for help, and this theory also explains why they act so aggressively when we look into their eyes. My other theory is that the Nether is actually a dream. This theory also has solid foundations, so the Nether never actually existed. The Nether is just a nightmare formed in the player's mind. Because the Nether, just like in our dreams, is a surreal place. Lava waterfalls, strange creatures like gas, blazes, and illogical vegetation. After all, the Nether perfectly matches the absurd and chaotic nature of a dream. So, can a real world be this illogical? Also, we need to build a portal to go to the Nether. We build it with obsidian and light the portal door with fire, right? This could also be used as a kind of ritual to trigger a state like hypnosis, just like in psychology, as a way to access the subconscious. And the strongest evidence for this theory isn't what I just mentioned. The real big thing is exactly this. We all know that we experience time distortion in dreams. I mean, when we have a dream, even years can pass in the dream. In reality, only a few seconds pass while we sleep and dream. Brace yourself. We all know that when we move in the Nether, 1 block there equals 8 blocks in the normal world, right? So, in short, if you move 1 block in the Nether, you actually move 8 blocks in the normal world. This is actually the biggest proof that just like in dreams, the perception of time and space is distorted. So what is it really? It's just a nightmare that only the player sees. That's how I see it. But I'd like to hear your thoughts as well. What do you think it really is? Is it another dimension or is it truly a bad nightmare? Write your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. At the beginning of the video, I said I would come to the villagers. The villagers are actually old players who got lost, forgotten, and even forgot themselves in this world. So could they be old people? So, are these villagers just stupid NPCs in the game? Or maybe, according to the story of this game, they could be the only rulers here from ancient times, the only ones who established a civilization here. I mean, even when you trade with the villagers, they can't talk to you. They just make weird noises. Actually, they make these sounds as if they are trying to communicate with you. What if this is the remnant of a very ancient language? Or what if they've been cursed in this world and stripped of all their wisdom, turned into stupid monkeys? Another animal, a type of monkey, makes the same sound as the villagers in their daily lives. Maybe the villagers were once people who could build great civilizations and wage wars. But now, what they've become is just a few foolish NPCs incapable of fighting or building civilizations. Maybe something else brought them to this state. Who knows? Actually, the biggest example that villagers were once people capable of building civilizations is that in the first versions of Minecraft, villagers were simply named Testificate. So maybe they're players left over from an old test. I mean, it's just a theory. As for zombies, could zombies actually be remnants of a forgotten experiment? Actually, when you enter the game, most of you don't even notice these. We don't really think about why these zombies have turned into zombies in this world. But what if the zombies are actually the result of a failed experiment from a civilization that existed even before the villagers? Maybe the zombies are actually remnants of human civilization that existed even before the villagers. Actually, the biggest thing supporting this theory is the existence of mineshafts and temples on the surface. So, a great civilization built great things here, but later on, their technology advanced so much that this civilization started conducting various human experiments. And when things went wrong, zombies might have appeared. So, the fact that there are a lot of zombie spawners in the dungeons actually makes this theory a bit realistic. Maybe this civilization, which lived even before the villagers, was trying to find the secret of immortality and was conducting various experiments, and when things got out of control, zombies might have appeared. But it seems like this experiment was at least partially successful, because the fact that zombies drop rotten flesh, that their bodies are decayed but they're still alive, could support this theory. Let me drop the real bomb. When a villager is bitten by a zombie, we can actually bring them back to life. This actually proves that the experiment is reversible. So in the end, zombies could really be a curse or the last cry of an ancient civilization. Our video ends here, but I'm really curious about your comments. What do you really think about this topic? Write everything in the comments. By the way, should we continue with theory videos? I really want to hear your opinion. I would be very happy if you write that as well. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Take care. Goodbye.